I had to go back in and do all my stables. Kevin had told me last week. Keep in mind, this is a tough time of year for some people, and this game will get to you sometimes. And I want to make sure that our clients are in the best position they can be and as happy as they can be. Same as our trainers. I mean, these are people with a lot of pressure on them, a lot of stress on them. A guy like Kevin takes his job super serious. Like a very passionate man when it comes to being a horseman. The type of person you want to have. You want to have in your midst, in your barn. And Kevin had come to me last week and said, Anthony, I'm getting too stressed out. Racing horses. Maybe I'll just train them down like you guys and just move them out. Which, if that's what Kevin wants to do, then I and everybody at the stable stands 100% behind him. Very happy to do that if that's what he wants. And we were all set to start switching horses around, and Kevin had called me and said, I'm going to take a week off at Christmas time anyway, and everybody does that time of year for the most part. And he said, maybe I'll just think about it over the holidays. And I got no problem with that whatsoever. I mean, I suspect if Kevin's kind of felt like this for a while, and if this is what he wants to do, then we're absolutely happy and happy to accommodate, no problem whatsoever. The expertise and the intelligence of Kevin McMaster is certainly needed and welcomed at the stable in any form. And if he just wants to train, then that's perfectly fine. If he wants to continue to race, that's fine too. It always helps when you have a good week. And Taimou Houdini jogged in London. Donato overcame a horrible drive to win at will in Mohawk from last at Dettelaine or ninth at Dettelaine, and then Brave World's racing great. So this game always has a way of dragging you back in. It's like the mafia, right? But whatever, honest to goodness, whatever is best for Kevin is perfectly fine for me. So we had started switching all the stables. I'd switched them all up on my phone, and then he called and said, maybe we'll wait another week or 2 weeks I'll defer until I have a rest, which is perfectly fine. So I'm happy to go back in and change all the stables. Not a problem whatsoever. So we'll go back to what Kevin has. Not what he might have, not what he was going to have, but what he has right now. Adrenaline Rush will be back in, and he'll come back in next week. I guess after Kevin gets back, we'll bring Adrenaline Rush in. Better's Hope also, he'll be coming back in. They got a little more time than the other colts. Kevin had thought, well, with Better's Hope, we had given him every chance in the world. A little rolly at times last year, gave him all the time in the world. Now you're on a short leash. If you don't turn out, you don't work out, training down towards the races this year, then that's it. You'll be in somebody else's barn. And I don't mean somebody else with the stable. I mean somebody else not affiliated with the stable will be selling Better's Hope if he doesn't come down the way we want him to. But take what I just said with a grain of salt. I have every belief that he will train down just fine and be the horse we bought him to be. We did everything right. Now let's see how it turns out. Blue Monk. We're going to castrate him immediately. They were a little hesitant with everything going on with Shedrow 5 to castrate him, but they were going to castrate some yearlings this week, so I think we'll walk Blue Monk up to the top barn and get him castrated, bring him back down, and he'll need some time after that, probably ready to go second week of January. As poorly as he raced his first start, I really don't think anybody's going to be in a big hurry to get him on the track again until we feel, one, he's healed up completely from his castration, and two, he's 100%. Just a very frustrating situation. I blame myself. I could have castrated this horse 10 times last year, and I didn't. And this is, I talked in one of our group discussions about, how it's bit me in the ass a couple of times not castrating horses. This is one of those times, I think. So Blue Monk, hopefully he'll bounce back and be a much better gelding than he was a stud. Italian Grit, training down good. Kevin said he trained him, I don't know, he said 2.7 or 2.9. Either way, he said he was very happy with him. He'll be ready to go in a few weeks, I think. Where are we here? Jumping around a little bit. I guess I gotta jump back down to the beast. My apologies. Brave World racing fantastic. Has been racing great for Kevin since he walked in the door. He's in tonight, and I'll be completely frank with you. Kevin was not happy that we'd entered him. So what happened was, I don't enter any of the horses. Ian Fleming called me. So Ian Fleming's the race secretary for Ontario, and said, I can't get a hold of Kevin. Kevin was busy training horses at Mohawk. He said, I can't get a hold of Kevin. Brave World has to move up into the preferred 2. It's not being written at London this week. It's being written at Flamborough on Sunday night. It's a 6-horse field. I know you're coming back in 6 days. Do you think he'd mind? Me? I have no problem whatsoever coming back in 6 days. But that's Anthony. I don't train Brave World. So I said to Ian, if you take the entry, fine, but I have to okay it with Kevin. He said, well, you don't want to race, just let me know. He said, but, we'd rather have the entry. We can't go the 6-horse preferred 2. Not this week. I said, okay. So he put the horse in. Kevin, he was good about it, but I know he wasn't very happy that we put the horse in back in 6 days. And I'm not going to argue with Kevin. If they wanted to scratch the horse, we would have scratched him. He opted to race him. So he's going to race him tonight. I suspect he'll race good, but he's in tough. But he's been racing great. So he'll probably miss 10 days after that and be back in to go. But I just thought with the timing, with Christmas, with now, and I'm going to cancel racing in the Hamilton area for the foreseeable future, I think it was the right thing to do. Now, obviously, I didn't have the cancellation information when we entered him, but at the same time, the race secretary did give us the opportunity to scratch him if we needed to. I would opt to race. So it's just the way it is. But if Kevin wanted to scratch him, he would. He was good about it. He said, no, I'll race him. But I could tell he wasn't happy about it. Kevin just, business always has to meet the burn at some point. And Kevin's the burn, and I'm the business. So there's going to be times we butt heads on things. And at the end of the day, I would have deferred to him when it came to this entry. But we ended up racing him, and I stand behind. I think the horse will be fine. And, he'll have 10 days after this race. So, Brave World, then we have Broadway Roll. Kevin trained her in 2.5 the other day. She was going to head over to Jason's, but she'll stay now at Kevin's barn. She'll be in to go into qualify, I guess, right after Christmas. Donodover was absolutely fantastic the other night. Somebody said, oh, great drive. It was a horrible drive. Sat last the whole way, got locked in with a horse that I knew was the best horse in the race. But I guess I just had to prove how much best he was to overcome 9th at the head of the lane to come storming it. The one thing I will say about Donodover is when he isn't on the gate, he's not as aggressive and he's not as good. And, but you put him in a striking position, he will strike. He's a good horse. But on the gate, he's a different animal. I think you'll see that in his next start. Don't believe me, just watch. Now, that was good of Mohawk. Very good of Mohawk to move the races. Flamborough drew. Then the Ontario government said, no, Hamilton's going into the gray zone. Only essential business, everything's locked down. No races, they were going to cancel them. Mohawk, I thought, as I heard the rumor the night before, I thought to myself, geez, wouldn't it be nice if Mohawk picked up that card? And then I'm saying to myself, oh, come on. How are they going to possibly, you're going to race a Flamborough card at Mohawk in between race cards or something? It's just ridiculous. And then I get up in the morning and I read that they did apply for the date to race that card for Flamborough. That is an incredibly kind gesture and something they certainly did not have to do. You're going to have the cynics out there that say, oh, they just want the wagering dollars. They could have done nothing. Nothing. And just said, geez, that sucks. But, they'll be back soon. For them to do that was an incredibly kind gesture. And I guarantee you, on the 23rd of December, the people that own those horses are very appreciative that they did. So don't believe, and we're one of them, by the way. I didn't realize it until yesterday after I wrote my post. Don't believe me, just watch was in on Tuesday. He'll race Wednesday at Mohawk. 2 p.m. post time, I believe. The Flamborough carded for Flamborough Downs, will be contested at Mohawk at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. So thank you very much, Mohawk. Woodbine Entertainment Group, Jessica Buckley, and Jim Lawson. Where are we at here? Italian Grid. Miss Brampton Beast. Kevin said he trained her in 2 minutes. I know she's been a long time getting there, but Kevin is meticulous about having his horses ready to race. I know everybody wants to see them race, but you want to see them race well. You don't want to see them race. Let's call a spade a spade. You want to see them race well. So, if Kevin didn't feel that Miss Brampton Beast was ready to qualify and do well her first start, then she wasn't in. And I know there's a lot of people saying, is she ready yet? Is she ready yet? She's ready now. But that's Kevin's decision. It's not mine, not yours. We put the horse in his hands to tell us when she's ready to race and race well. He decided that she was ready to race now. She was sick before. Now she's ready to go. Cyrus Blue Chip will come back with Better's Hope and Adrenaline Rush for the exact same reasons that Better's Hope got till January. A well-bred horse, bumpy 2-year-old season, on a short leash. We'll give you all the time you want. Now it's up to you. And that is where Cyrus Blue Chip sits also. So admirable, fantastic filly. I love this filly. She looked good training the other day. Kevin said he's been in 220 with her. So I don't know, she's like a month away or something. Time Al Houdini was tremendous. He jogged the other day. Wrapped up winner at London. He looked very, very good. Kevin has got him better than he has ever been right now. Warwi Was Up is ready to start back, I suspect. Just got to get that lag fluoroscoped or ultrasounded just to make sure. I saw it a couple of weeks ago in the stall, and it looks fantastic. They have done, Georgia and Kevin have done a very, very good job with Warwi Was Up. Watch Avenue is ready to qualify now, I believe. I think he said he trained him in 2-3. And then Zeb Sunshine also, I assume, around the same amount. So that's Kevin's barn as is. As I said, 'tis the season, and we want to make sure everybody's happy, everybody's comfortable, everybody's having a good time. This, although this has been the worst year of my life for the planet Earth, I would think, as far as COVID-19, it has most definitely been the best year for the stable.ca. Now, it took a lot of elbow grease, took a lot of work, but at the same time, I think as horsemen, as horse people, and definitely me and my wife, as the people that own and operate the stable.ca, we are always up for a challenge. And as 2020 was challenging, I think we did pretty good. So I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will talk to you again before the New Year.